They say one text message can change your life. I never believed it until the night I accidentally sent my deepest desire to the one person who should never see it. My Ice Queen boss. What happened next? She didn't fire me. She didn't ignore it. She showed up at my door with 4 words that shattered everything I thought I knew. Were you thinking of me? I'm Valyria Santos, and I need to tell you about the night one wrong text message changed my entire life. I was lying in bed, staring at my phone screen, when my heart stopped beating. Actually stopped. Right there in my tiny apartment bedroom, surrounded by unpaid bills and my daughter's scattered toys, I thought I might die of pure humiliation. The notification glowed accusingly in the dim light. Message read at 9:47 p.m. And right above it, the name that made my blood turn to ice. Gabriella Fontes, CEO. No, 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 I whispered, scrolling up with trembling fingers to see what I'd sent. My stomach dropped straight through the floor. You know what I need right now? Someone to push me against a wall and kiss me until I forget my own name. Someone who knows exactly what they want and isn't afraid to take it. God. I'm so tired of being the responsible one. Just once, I want someone to make me lose control. I had sent that to my boss. To Gabriella Fontes. To the Ice Queen CEO, who had never smiled at me once in 3 years. To the most intimidatingly beautiful woman I'd ever seen. To the woman I'd been secretly fantasizing about since my first day of work. I dropped the phone like it had burned me, and pressed my hands against my face, trying to breathe. How had this happened? I'd been texting my best friend Carla all evening, venting about my horrible day, Luna's school calling about unpaid fees, my car breaking down again, my ex sending another passive-aggressive message about child support. When Carla suggested some harmless flirting to cheer me up, I'd gone along with it, typing out my frustrations in increasingly bold messages. I must have clicked the wrong contact. Gabriella's name was right above Carla's because we'd been texting about tomorrow's board meeting. Tomorrow's board meeting, where I'd have to face the woman I'd just accidentally sexually harassed via text message. I'm going to have to quit, I said aloud to my empty bedroom. I'm going to have to quit my job, change my name, and move to another country. My phone buzzed in my hand. Another message from Gabriella Fontes. I couldn't breathe. This was it. This was how I lost everything. How I lost my ability to provide for Luna. I forced myself to look at the screen. Come downstairs now. We need to talk. And don't try to lie. I read it 3 times, my mind refusing to process the words. Come downstairs? But I was at home, and Gabriella didn't know where The buzzer for my apartment door rang. Sharp and insistent. My heart stopped again. On numb legs, I walked to the intercom and pressed the button with a trembling finger. Hello? It's Gabriella Fontes. Buzz me in. The voice was crisp, professional, and completely incongruous with the fact that my CEO was apparently standing outside my building at 9:52 p.m. on a Thursday night. How did you? Valyria. Her voice cut through my panic like a knife. Buzz me in. Now. My finger hit the button before my brain could catch up. I heard the downstairs door open and close. Heard footsteps on the stairs. My apartment was on the 3rd floor of a building with no elevator. Gabriella Fontes, in her designer suits and impossible heels, was climbing 3 flights of stairs to my door. I looked down at myself. Ratty pajama pants with cartoon cats, an oversized college t-shirt with a hole in the armpit, hair in a messy bun, no makeup. I looked like exactly what I was, a tired, broke single mother at the end of a very long day. The knock on my door was firm and authoritative. I opened it. Gabriella Fontes stood in my hallway, and even in the harsh fluorescent lighting, she looked like she'd stepped out of a magazine. Tailored black pants, a silk blouse the color of deep wine, a black blazer that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Her dark hair was pulled back in a sleek, low ponytail, and her green eyes, God, those eyes fixed on me with an intensity that made me want to disappear into the floor. Miss Fontes, I managed, my voice barely above a whisper. I can explain. Can I come in? I stepped aside wordlessly. She walked into my small apartment, and I watched her eyes sweep over everything, the secondhand furniture, the toys scattered in the corner, Luna's drawings taped to the walls, the dishes in the sink visible through the kitchen doorway. I closed the door and stood there, wishing the earth would swallow me whole. How did you know where I live? I asked, because it seemed safer than addressing the elephant in the room. Your address is in your employee file. She turned to face me fully, her expression unreadable. "We need to talk about what you sent me. I am so sorry." I rushed out, the words tumbling over each other. It was a mistake. It was meant for my friend. I would never. I know it was completely inappropriate and unprofessional, and I understand if you need to fire me, but please, I have a daughter, and I need this job, and I swear nothing like this will ever happen again. Valyria. She held up one hand, and my mouth snapped shut. Stop. Silence fell between us. I could hear my own heartbeat, could hear the neighbor's TV through the thin walls, could hear the distant sound of traffic from the street below. "You're not fired," she said finally. I blinked. I'm not? No. She took a step closer. "But I do need to know something. When you sent that message, were you thinking about anyone specific?" My face flamed hot. It was just I was venting to my friend about. "Answer the question." Her voice was quiet, but there was something in it that made it a command. "Were you thinking about someone specific?" I couldn't meet her eyes. I stared at the floor, at my own bare feet on the cheap carpet, at anything but the woman standing in front of me. "Yes," I whispered. "Who?" The question hung in the air between us. I could lie. I should lie. But she'd told me not to lie. And something about the way she'd said it made me think that lying would be the worst possible choice right now. "You," I breathed, so quietly I wasn't sure she'd heard. But she had. I heard her sharp intake of breath, saw her take another step closer out of the corner of my eye. "Look at me," she said. I forced myself to raise my head. She was close now, close enough that I could see the gold flecks in her green eyes, could smell her perfume, something expensive and intoxicating, could see that her professional mask had cracked just enough to show something underneath, something intense, something dangerous. "How long?" she asked. "I don't understand. How long have you wanted me to push you against a wall and kiss you until you forget your own name?" Hearing my own words said back to me in her low, measured voice made my knees weak. Since the first day I started working for you," I admitted, the truth spilling out before I could stop it. 3 years ago, you walked into your office, didn't smile, didn't make small talk, just started giving me instructions. And I shook my head. I thought you were the most beautiful, most intimidating, most magnetic person I'd ever seen. And every day since then has been torture. Watching you. Wanting you. Knowing you'd never look at me as anything but your assistant. She was very still. "You think I don't look at you?" "I know you don't," I said, surprised by the bitterness in my own voice. "You barely acknowledge I exist except to give me work. You've never smiled at me, never asked me a personal question, never showed any interest in me as a person. I'm just the person who manages your calendar and brings you coffee. You think," she said slowly, taking another step forward, "that I haven't noticed you? You think I don't know that you take your coffee with 2 sugars and a splash of cream? That you have a 4-year-old daughter named Luna, who likes to draw? That you drive a car that breaks down at least once a month? That you stay late every Thursday to finish the weekly reports even though you're not required to? That you wear your hair down on Fridays because you think I won't notice?" She paused. "But I notice everything about you." I stared at her, unable to speak. "You think I'm the Ice Queen," she continued, her voice dropping lower. "Everyone thinks that. And I've cultivated that image very carefully. Because it's easier to run a company when people are afraid of you, when they don't get too close, when they don't see your weaknesses." She paused. "But you, Valyria Santos, you are my weakness." I don't understand," I whispered. "For 3 years," she said, "I have watched you. For 3 years I have maintained absolute professional distance because you work for me, and I won't abuse my position of power. For 3 years, I have gone home to my empty apartment and tried not to think about what it would be like to touch you, to taste you, to hear you say my name in something other than that polite, professional tone you use in the office." My breath caught in my throat. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. "And then tonight," she said, "I received a message from you that told me everything I needed to know. You want someone to make you lose control. Someone who knows what they want and isn't afraid to take it." She was so close now that I could feel the warmth radiating from her body. "I am that someone. Valyria, I have always been that someone, but I need to hear you say it. I need you to tell me clearly and explicitly that this is what you want, because once I start, I won't stop. Once I touch you, everything changes. Do you understand?" I couldn't breathe. My entire world had narrowed down to this moment, to her, standing in front of me, to the choice I was being offered. Yes, I whispered. I understand. Then say it, she commanded. Tell me what you want. I looked into those green eyes and saw hunger there, saw need, saw 3 years of restraint barely held in check. And something inside me, something that had been tamped down and controlled and responsible for so long, broke free. I want you to kiss me, I said, my voice stronger now. I want you to push me against that wall and make me forget my own name. I want you to show me that you're not the ice queen everyone thinks you are. I want you, Gabriella. I've wanted you for 3 years, and I can't want you quietly anymore. For one endless moment, she didn't move. Then she smiled, actually smiled, and it transformed her entire face, made her look younger, softer, dangerous, in an entirely different way. Good, she said, because I'm done being patient. She moved like lightning. One moment she was standing in front of me. The next, my back hit the wall behind me, and her mouth was on mine. And nothing in my entire life had ever felt like this. The kiss was everything I'd fantasized about and more. She kissed like she did everything else with complete confidence and absolute control. Her hands framed my face, her body pressed against mine, pinning me to the wall, and I could only clutch at her blazer and kiss her back with 3 years of pent-up desire. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, she rested her forehead against mine. I've wanted to do that, she murmured, since the day you walked into my office wearing that blue dress and told me my previous assistant had organized the filing system all wrong, and you were going to fix it. I laughed breathlessly. I can't believe I said that to you on my first day. I can't believe how much I wanted to kiss you for it. She pulled back slightly, her thumb tracing my lower lip. But we need to talk about this. About what it means. I know, I said, reality crashing back in. You're my boss. This is not allowed, she finished. Not while you work directly for me. HR regulations are very clear on that. My heart sank. Of course there was a catch. Of course I couldn't have this. But, she continued, and my eyes snapped back to hers. I've been thinking about restructuring the executive support team, creating a new position, senior executive coordinator, that would put you at the same level as the department heads. You'd work with all the executives, not just for me. It would be a promotion, a significant raise, and it would solve our little problem. You're serious? I'm always serious. There was warmth in her voice now. I've been planning this for months, Valyria. I just needed a reason to pull the trigger. Consider that message tonight the push I needed. I shook my head in disbelief. This is insane. 2 hours ago, I thought I was going to get fired. Now you're offering me a promotion and telling me you've wanted me for 3 years. Life is strange like that, she said dryly. Then her expression grew serious. But I need you to understand what you're agreeing to. I don't do casual, Valyria. If we do this, if we start this, I'm all in. I want everything. Dates, commitment, meeting your daughter when you're ready. The whole thing. And I know that's a lot. I know you've been hurt before. How do you know that? I interrupted. She had the grace to look slightly uncomfortable. I may have done some research after you mentioned your ex in passing one day. I was worried about you. You looked into my personal life. I wanted to fix it for you, she said simply. But I couldn't without overstepping every professional boundary we had. She paused. But those boundaries are about to change, if you want them to. My mind was spinning. This was too much, too fast, too overwhelming. Just hours ago, I'd been drowning in stress and loneliness. Now the woman I'd fantasized about for 3 years was standing in my living room, offering me a promotion and a relationship, and everything I'd been too afraid to hope for. What about Luna? I asked. You said you want everything, but I'm a package deal. She has to come first. Always. I know, she said softly. And I wouldn't want it any other way. I've been alone for a long time, Valyria. I built my company, made my fortune, created this image of the Ice Queen who doesn't need anyone, but the truth is, I'm lonely. I want a family. I want someone to come home to. I want, she hesitated, vulnerability flickering across her face. I want what you have with Luna. That love. That connection. I want to be part of something real. I felt tears prick at my eyes. You can't just walk into our lives and fix everything, Gabriella. It doesn't work like that. I know, she said. I'm not trying to fix everything. I'm just trying to be with you. The rest we figure out together, one day at a time. She cupped my face gently. But I need to know if you want this, if you want me, because I meant what I said. Once I start, I won't stop. I'll be all in. And I need you to be all in, too. I looked at this woman, this beautiful, powerful, complicated woman, and thought about all the reasons I should say no. It was too fast, too risky. Too much could go wrong. But I also thought about Luna's school fees, about my broken-down car, about coming home to an empty apartment every night. I thought about 3 years of wanting and not having, of being responsible and careful and practical. And I thought about that kiss, about the way she looked at me like I was the most important person in the world, about the promise of something more. Okay, I whispered. Okay, I'm all in. Her smile was brilliant. She kissed me again, slower this time, deeper, until I was dizzy with it. When she finally left, after promising to present me with the official promotion offer tomorrow, after one more kiss at my door, after admitting she'd been sitting in her car outside my building for half an hour before I sent that message, working up the courage to tell me how she felt, I stood in my living room for a long time, just breathing. I walked to Luna's bedroom door and cracked it open, looking at my daughter sleeping peacefully. Luna didn't know it yet, but our lives were about to change. I climbed into bed, but sleep was impossible. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt Gabriella's lips on mine, heard her voice saying, "You are my weakness." Saw the hunger and hope in those green eyes. 3 years. We'd both been waiting for 3 years, circling each other, wanting, and not having. And now, because of one accidentally sent text message, everything had changed. I smiled into the darkness. Maybe mistakes weren't always bad. Maybe sometimes they were exactly what you needed. And that's my story, how one wrong text message led me to the love I'd been afraid to dream of. If Valyria and Gabriella's journey touched your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever made a mistake that turned into something beautiful? Drop your story in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you believe in second chances and unexpected love, hit that like button and subscribe to Lesbian Lens. There are so many more stories of courage, hope, and finding love in the most unexpected places. Thank you for letting me share mine with you. Until next time, remember, sometimes the best things in life happen when we're brave enough to be vulnerable.